This is the Schmo with the pros. We got Josh Thomson. We got Big John McCarthy. We're certainly weighing in. Bellator 277. How we doing?
Doing good. I love the voice, man. I love it. You really matured in your age.
Appreciate that. The Schmo's got the Schmo stash going. We're trying to up our game a little bit. Big John, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I like the porn stash. It looks good, babe.
It looks good. It's got nothing on Ron Jeremy, but we're doing our best to hold our own. So talk to the Schmo for a second, man. We got some two big title fights going on tomorrow evening. Who's most likely to lose their title tomorrow evening?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. Really, I'm going to look, if you're going to say who's most likely, I think the matchup, we've already seen AJ against Patricio, and so we saw the outcome of that. It's going to be hard for Patricio to make that up, but he can. But if you're going to say who's the most likely, I'd say it's Nemkov, because Corey Anderson is so good at what he does. And if he can make this fight a nasty ground and pound type fight, he can walk away with the title.
Do you agree with those sentiments?
Yeah, I agree with him. It's really going to come down to whether Corey Anderson can implement his will and his game plan. If he can get those takedowns early, if he doesn't get those takedowns early when he needs to, he may find himself fighting on his back foot, which is not a good situation for him. If he's coming forward and he's setting the tempo and the pace, he has a good chance of taking that title from Nemkov.
So why do you think it's so difficult to get these cross-promotional fights? Obviously, we want to see the best fighters fight the best fighters, but what do you think the negotiations are really like behind the scenes? Josh, we'll start with you.
You're not going to see it because some promoters feel like they have the better fighters. We also know that they're a deep division. They do have a deep division, but the biggest thing is that not every fighter, not all of the best fighters are in one place. It doesn't matter where you go. If that was the case, the UFC would never have traded away DJ, who was considered to be one of the best in the world at the time. Other fighters have come over to multiple different platforms and had success. You look back in the history of the sport, Strikeforce, obviously, Pride also came in and exploded into the scene, and a lot of their champions became champions as well. So the cross promotion, I think, is such a deep conversation that you have to have, but it really comes down to the promoters, and sometimes the promoters are no different than boxing promoters. They don't want to see their fighter lose, so they don't want to get into there. But
do you want to weigh in on this, or can the Schmo ask you a different question?
You can ask me whatever you want, man. Really, the big thing with cross promotion is when you're the biggest promotion, which the UFC is the biggest promotion, they're looking at it, what do we gain from this? We're saying already that our fighter's the best, and so since people believe it, it doesn't help me if I do put my fighter in there and they end up losing. It doesn't do any good for me. Why am I going to take that chance? Why am I going to put myself in that situation? So I understand why they don't do it.
What do you make of Khamzat Chimaev? Did he live up to the hype in your opinion, or do you think you want to see him rematch a Gilbert Burns fight, Colby Covington next? What would you like to see?
I was really surprised with all the negative that came by with his performance, because was it a perfect performance? No, he'll tell you that, I believe. His coach will tell you that. He did things, he got caught into brawl situations where he should have been fighting smarter. He was trying to get rid of a very, very good fighter, the guy that was ranked second in the world. He's trying to get rid of him fast. You can't just do that. But that's what comes with being a young fighter and learning, and I think he's going to learn from this. I think his stock rises, and no doubt about it. He beat Gilbert. It was a close fight. Gilbert, I thought, won the second round. I thought Chimaev won the first and the third. But it was a great fight, and he showed he's got heart. He does have cardio, even though he burned himself out a little bit based upon, adrenaline and trying to get rid of him. I thought it was a great performance. I thought it was a great fight by both guys. Neither guy has anything to feel bad about.
And obviously, Aljamain Sterling bit back at this guy over here.
Well, that's Big John, man, always stirring the pot. No, Aljo, look, John and I talked about it. We didn't take anything away from his performance. We thought he had a great performance. He was a little offended the fact that we thought that Jan won the first round. If you go through comment sections and Twitter, half people thought that Aljo lost the first round, half of people thought he won the first round. But that's the negotiations, and not the negotiations, but that's the conversation to be had. And that's what's great about this sport. I just would like to see Aljo come with that same type of energy when his boss said he lost too. Why is he picking out and handpicking certain people? Of course you're not going to talk like that about Dana White, because he's the one that signs your check. Okay, but that was the thing. Don't pick out one person because you didn't agree with them and you want to try to make an example out of it. No, have that same energy across the board.
What can Cris Cyborg do to solidify her name as the greatest female fighter of all time?
I think the Kayla Harrison is a big fight that is out there, possibly that she could get that would help in that. But I really think she needs to get a rematch. For so long the UFC was touting Amanda as the greatest of all time and everything. And I've always said they pushed that verbiage, greatest of all time, the GOAT, a little too much. And it could be that in the end she is the greatest of all time. But She lost to Julianne Pena. That kind of took that away. I would love to see the rematch between Amanda, Cris. I would like to see Amanda and Kayla. I would like to see Kayla and Cris. And I think if you got through those, you would be getting close to, you know, someone that is the best right now. Are they going to be the best of all time? Cris would have that. If she beat Amanda and she beat Kayla, I think she'd be able to say that. But there's always going to be someone out there that's going to question it, so it doesn't really matter. They're all fantastic.
Can we get a final message for all the Josh Thomson fans out there worldwide?
Keep watching Weighing In Podcast, YouTube, all the audio platforms. That's the biggest thing I can say. Thanks for having us on, Schmo.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having us on there, brother.
They're the pros. I'm the Schmo
You
at
are
the show.
and the Schmo.
Yeah, I guess. Not really. Bellator 277, the SAP Center. We're out.